The biggest news out of the Pokemon Presents dropped. That's right, the next major Pokemon in the works, and that is Pokemon Legends ZA. This new addition to the Pokemon main title line will be released in 2025, giving Pokemon time to truly, and I mean truly, create, flesh out, execute a beautiful Pokemon game that Pokemon fans have been waiting for over a decade for. Pokemon Legends ZA will be set in the Kalos region, letting players explore the wonders that is Lumiose City once again. The game hints at an urban redevelopment plan that will shape the city into a place that belongs to both people and Pokemon. Now, what does that mean? We're not sure. It could mean that the entire game is set in Lumiose City before we got to Lumiose City that we're all acquainted with, or it could actually mean that Lumiose City that we know could be our home base, similar to how we had our home base in Pokemon Legends Arceus. One might also think that players might be sent to the future. I mean, with all the blueprints and the designs and the blue lights going crazy, it definitely gave us a futuristic vibe that maybe that's the time period. But who actually knows? It is too early to tell, so why not just have some fun with it? One thing that we do know is that trailer gave us a fun return that Pokemon fans have been clamoring for years, ever since Pokemon X and Y debuted. And that is the return of Megas. The trailer ends with just the Mega sign, but this clue right here helps us think about probably the biggest question that are all on our minds. Can you find the subscribe button and click it down below? No, but for real, after you do that, the second biggest question for Poke fans is, what will be our starters? To answer this with the least biased possible, we can actually take a look at a past game to help us out. We will take inspiration from a previous Legends game, Pokemon Legends Arceus, that sent players to the past to a version of the Sinnoh region when it was known as the Hisui region. One thought that we would have been met with the classic Sinnoh trio, Piplup, Turtwig, and Chimchar. However, Poke fans explored the past region with a different mix of starters and actually found Cyndaquil, Rowlet, and Oshawott as their options to start the game. The beautiful part about this is that we got our chance to see our starter Pokemon evolve into a special Hisuian version of its evolution, complete with a new design and typing. Cyndaquil evolved into a Hisuian Typhlosion, a fire and ghost type, Rowlet evolves into a Hisuian Decidueye, a grass and fighting type, and Oshawott evolves into Hisuian Samurai, a water and dark type. This gave us a fresh take to Pokemon that we have already seen for years. So now, Pokemon Legends ZA is primed to bring that fresh air once again, and is going to start with our starters. So let's dive into what I think could be the possible choice for Pokemon Legends ZA, following similar guidelines to Pokemon Legends Arceus. To start off with, we have to think of all of our options. So here's our list. We have Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Chikorita, Totodile, Cyndaquil, Trico, Mudkip, Torchic, Turtwig, Piplup, Chimchar, Snivy, Oshawott, Tepig, Chespin, Froakie, Fennekin, Rowlet, Pelipio, Litten, Grookey, Sobble, Scorbunny, Rowlet, Oshawott, Cyndaquil, Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco. Whew, that was a mouthful. So the first thing that we actually would have to consider is Mega Evolution. Pokemon Legends Arceus gave the starters a new Hisuian form to match the flair and style of the game, so we can expect Pokemon Legends Arceus to do the same. And what new form that will match the game? Well, that's Megas. And right away, we can start our process of elimination of starters by taking out Pokemon that already have their Mega Evolutions. So Pokemon we will say goodbye to are Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, Trico, Mudkip, Torchic. Like, I hate to say it, but you're out. Following up in Pokemon Legends Arceus, 3 starter choices got a new form for the first time. So if we take that into consideration, it could be safe to say that Pokemon with another form could also be ruled out. So let's say goodbye to Pikachu, Eevee, Cyndaquil, Oshawott, Froakie, Rowlet, Grookey, Sobble, Scorbunny. That was a lot. Another guideline that we can lean on from Pokemon Legends Arceus is that none of the starters were actually from Gen 4. Even though that region was based off of Sinnoh, they kind of said, good luck, go find them out in the wild, instead of actually having the option to start off with them in the beginning. So I can only imagine that our Kalos region, our Lumiose City, will do the same to us. So with that said, Gen 6 stars could be facing the same treatments. Now there's also something about recency bias that makes it hard to see that these next Pokemon make it into another game so soon for such an important choice like choosing your starter for your next adventure already, when we kinda just did that for them. So with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet being the last game to come out before this game, it would kinda be hard to say that Sprigatito, Quaxly, and Fuecoco will make the cut as an option, so bye. So after hitting that Thanos snap on our possible list of starters, who's actually left? For grass, it's Chikorita, Turtwig, and Snivy. For water, it's Totodile, Piplup, and Popplio. For fire, it's Chimchar, Tepig, and Litten. Now, we actually have a new contender for 5 stars. Now, just bear with me. I didn't want to say this, and I know in my heart of hearts, I actually don't want this, but Nintendo, Game Freak, and you know how much they love this mon. That's right, it's Charmander, Charmeleon, and Charizard. The mon with the most forms, most favorable and lovable treatment ever that you'll ever find. Seriously. You got Gigantamax, you got all these other things, and there's also Charizard X, Charizard Y, so seriously, why not Charizard Z for Legends ZA? I personally think Charizard should take a seat in the corner of the room, but this unfortunately could be a real option. But I'm not Nintendo, I'm not Game Freak, so Charizard, double out. So with our options listed out for each typings remaining, it's also something to think about of how the combination of generations of Pokemon Legends Arceus starters did not actually repeat their generations as a choice. So for example, Cyndaquil was Gen 2, Oshawott Gen 5, and Rowlet was Gen 7. So when we're thinking about who to pick from that, we should also kind of follow that guideline as well. So my thoughts for the next starters are as following. For grass starters, I'm actually going to choose Snivy. Snivy's design are based on European royalty, specifically French monarchs. When we take a look at Superior, which is our 3rd stage evolution, Sigamori is actually quoted in an interview translation as saying Superior was designed with the concept of a European knight in mind, kind of like Lady Oscar from the Rose of Versailles. Oscar is the main character of the Rose of Versailles, the classic shoujo manga set around the French Revolution, so bada bing, bada boom. With Snivy taking the first slot, we can say goodbye to Tepig, which is Gen 7 counterpart, Turtwig, and Chikorita. Up next for the water type, I'm actually going to choose Piplup. Here's another case where the design inspiration is taken from France. This is the case of Empoleon, the water star from Sinnoh, who's based on Napoleon Bonaparte. Quick history lesson for you all back at home. Napoleon Bonaparte was one of the most successful generals of the French Revolutionary armies. He was the Emperor of France and is actually regarded as one of the history's greatest military leaders. Empoleon is known as Emperor in Japanese, a mix of Emperor and Bonaparte, and the design of Empoleon being reminiscent of Napoleon's iconic attire. So with Piplup taking the 2nd slot, we can say goodbye to Chimchar, Totodile, and Popplio. So last but not least, fire. Now, regardless of process of elimination and what we have left, our choice easily here would be Litten. Litten, or its final stage Incineroar, is a hugely popular Pokemon, especially in the VGC competitive scene. With its great stats and signature ability Intimidate, it has continued to remain a powerhouse. Giving this mon a Mega Form will absolutely turn the competitive scene upside down, and with this game not releasing until 2025, there is a highly good chance that we're actually going to get a multiplayer kind of take on a Legends game, since there's just so much time to do it. So there it is, our possible trio for Pokemon Legends ZA, Snivy, Piplup, and Litten. Let me know in the comments, do you like this trio? Do you agree with this trio? Or what other trio would you slot in for Pokemon Legends ZA? And if you're curious about how I felt about this game being announced, you can check that video out right here. Catch you next time.